I am Greg Haw, and I am going to go over the basics of our task system. So this task system that I developed a while back has been a lifesaver for me a million times over. If you have a lot of different types of tasks, how do you manage it? How do you remember everything? How do you prioritize your tasks? So we have drag and drop sorting to prioritize a task to make it really easy. How do you see a task and have attachments, embedded videos at your fingertips while you are analyzing your task? So this user-friendly task system has this and more, but we're just going to focus on the basics of our task system. So without further ado, let me click on our staging acceptance testing site. It's going to bring up our login screen. I can log in with my user ID and password, but I'm also set up to log in with my IP address. So I'll click on IP login. It says here, you logged in successfully with your IP. So I'll click on the OK button and voila. Here's our acceptance testing staging site. So here's my task right here. So in this task system, we are going to be focusing on how I manage the PSPE system. So PSPE is a way of managing comments coming from students' preceptors. So there are still business rules that we need to iron out. So here's our task system. Let me click on Task Grid Manager. So here are task records, or PSPE task records. So let me show you the categories we have. So let me go task categories. So I created 4 categories for PSPE. And you have drag and drop sorting for your categories. So I moved PSPE to the very top so I can see it right away. So there's PSPE website. So that's, again, I developed the website. So that's, task for that. PSPE SIS acceptance. SIS stands for Student Information System. So the student SIS team, what they do is they pull data from our OEIS database to display the comments in their system so that the school pharmacy students can see them and send out their transcripts. So I have tasks for that. PSP OEIS databases. So OEIS has a development, staging, and production database servers. We have our Dean's Office database server where the website resides in. So there's, and in the database, there's something called start procedures, there's views. So I have to be able to maintain that. There's packages. So in fact, that's another topic here. PSPE SSIS. So not to be confused with SIS, this is Student Information System. PSPE SSIS stands for SQL Server Integration Services. So it's an ETL, just like Tableau Prep, right? What you can, so you could pull data from other sources. So we're pulling data from EDW, that's the Education Warehouse database, eValue, where the comments come from, and then we have a package for that where we're pulling data. We have a package for merging them together to put in our PSPE database, and we have a package to sync it with our Dean's Office website, or where we do a push and pull. So there's tasks in that on those items where I have to be able to manage, right? So there's all these tasks, and I have it in 4 different categories. And like I said here, there's drag and drop sorting right here. You can just move this somewhere else, but I need to move this on top. So I have it the way I want it. So that's why I moved it back. So let's go to our task grid. So what's the first thing we should cover? You can see right away, you can export to Excel, PDF. There. So let's say adding a new task. Create plus. So in the top menu bar, you saw that create with a big plus sign. That's how you can add a new task. Notice if I go to my drop down to select my category, PSPE categories are on the very top because remember the drag and drop sorting. I just dragged the PSPE categories to the very top so I can see it right away on my drop down. So I can just select one of these guys. I can, enter the task, notes, resolution for status. I have pending, completed, ongoing, not applicable for levels of importance. I have high, medium, low, not applicable. There's something called references. You have attachments here. You can attach files. Yeah, so anyways, and then you would click on your create button once you're done with that. Let's go back to our task grid. So there's groupings here. What's groupings on any column? But filtering I think is really important, and sorting, so you can filter on any column, which is really important. You need to have that ability. Sorting too as well. If I click on a header right here, it's going to be in ascending order. Click on it again, it's on descending order. If I click it one more time, it goes back to the way it was, on the way it was sorted when I launched the task system here, or task grid system interface. Here, what else is there to talk about? What's next that's important? So filtering, I'll just go through filtering. My favorite way of filtering is anything that contains, right? Contains, how about PSPE, it's not case sensitive. I can filter on that, and I have all my PSP records only. Let's reload. Oh, one thing that's important, I cannot forget this, so important, very helpful for me, is prioritizing a task. So that constantly changes, right? So there's something called sort prioritize here. I don't want to move things around because it's set to the way I want it now, but let's say I wanted to move this further down, which I don't want to, so I better put it back. But there's drag and drop sorting here, right? Because once you're finished with attaching, you probably want to move it down. You know, if it's these are pending, if it's completed, you probably want to move it down somewhere. So yeah, it's important to be, and you're constantly prioritizing your task, right? Another task may be more important, so you got to move it up, or this is less important, you got to move it down. So this is really helpful for me, so I can prioritize my tasks. So let's go back to our task grid. Let's look at this. How about we have our flyout menus on each record here. It saves a lot of real estate, you know, this menu here. So let's go to, let's look at this in form view. So you can edit in form view, or we can look at detail. This is read only. So what's so helpful for me is I can do some analysis. This is on SIS acceptance. I can read through this guy. At my fingertips, I have attachments. I can just click on this ERD on how the table or view relationship that SIS provided us with. So this is what student information system, they're the ones that, you know, they pull the common information from our OEIS database to be displayed in their system for school pharmacy students. So this view is something where I can see what they see. You know, there's things that they don't see, like we have some called reveal status that's really important, and that's how we filter records over to SIS. They don't see that. They don't see the reveal status. But from what Kevin from SIS did was he gave me this information here so I can understand and know what they see. So that's helpful. And that's at my fingertips right away. I can just click here and see it. I can click here on this. This tells me the servers I have. You know, I have dev, stage, production, dean's office, EDW, local host. So I have that at my fingertips, right? I can just see it right there. Word, if I click here, it's going to download it. There's more documentation. I can then launch it. Same with Excel. I can just click on it and it's going to download and I can launch it. Click on it to launch. So everything's at my fingertips, which is really important to have. I don't want to have to look through things and stuff. So, and what we can email. So there might be something really important that I need to send to upper management or a coworker or whatever. So I have it. It's already populates everything in the fields into this body here. I can add, you know, more stuff here. I have my attachments here. Remember these attachments? If I check here, I call them reference attachments. That means, and I can say, hey, I don't want this guy, uncheck this, I don't need to show this, you know, I send it out. This is a toggle, I can uncheck everything, check it, uncheck. You might say, huh, I need this, I want to send this, but I don't, you know, need these guys. And you can choose files from your hard drive as well. Really important to have. So let's go back to, notes. Let's look at notes. I think this is really cool. So notes you can embed videos. There's a lot of features you can do with this editor. And the cool thing about YouTube right now, you have chapter timelines, meaning that, for example, if I click here, let's go this again, and you can click here and notice here we have show more. I'll click here. I can click on a timeline to go to a specific chapter in the video. pretty slick. I mean, this is helpful. I can go to finalize. So it stays final. So I can do that. That's a really important, cool feature that YouTube has now. So we have embedded video. Oh, let me show you this. Let me show you something that I think is kind of slick. You can see if I go here, this is our patient case bank system. Let me show you one that Christine Blasky did on notes. These are tables you can have using the editor. Pretty cool. So this is Christine. She already graduated PharmD. She was a PharmD student. And again, you have your attachments, right? You can just click on it, have no clue what this means. Pretty slick. And so you can just do analysis right here. I mean, everything's at your fingertips. Pretty slick. Let's go back home here and go back to our task system. Oh, this is cool too, because okay, so if you're an admin, let's say you're like, okay, Cynthia's a director, and if she has admin rights, what she can do is she can overlook and monitor other people's tasks. She can select me here. It's read only for the tasks that she sees on that I have here, but she can monitor and see what I'm doing, right? If she has admin rights. So this is pretty cool to have. So what's important to show here? I think I covered a lot of stuff here. How about event logs? So here you can see I have 4 attachments here. This is attachment. Let's go to event logs. Let's go. So you can go through the flyout menu to go to your attachments, event logs. There's many ways to get to an interface. I can go event logs here, but notice when I go home, you can just, why did I go home? I meant to go to the task grid, sorry. My apologies. So right here you have attachments, right? You have 4 attachments. It tells me 4 attachments. I have 7 hours in my event log, right? So I can click here. I can go to my flyout menu as well for event logs. I can click directly there. And it says, most of the meetings, these are meetings. Most of the meetings are just 1 hour long. That's why you see 1, 1, 1, 1. Total of 7 hours. So it tracks my meetings, pretty cool. Very helpful because I can read through things to see what happened. Like for example, early on I had meetings with the SIS programmers here. That way I was able to understand how exceptions occur and how to prevent those exceptions. There's business rules, so I had to make changes to the website. So right now it's in staging. I still got to move it over to production. There's acceptance testing that needs to be done. Need to get approval from Catherine as well. And so we had meetings. Once I learned how exceptions occurred, I also had meetings with our OEIS team to let them know how we need to prevent these exceptions occurring. So I had changes in our website, but it's in staging. I hadn't moved it to production yet. So exceptions did occur, and we were able to fix it or work with SIS to rectify that. But there's ways we need to make sure on how to prevent exceptions to occur in the future, and there's ways to do that. There's business rules we can put in place to fix that, and we're still working on that. But I pretty much have an idea of what to do. So, anyways, anyway, enough of that. I'm talking. So you can have hours too, monthly hours. You can look at that in a graph. Pretty cool. So October, it shows the meetings I had, and November. So I had like 5 hours of meetings for exceptions now. We had other meetings too as well. And 2 hours in November. I think we had more than that, but yeah. So I think that's helpful to have. So event logs are pretty cool. Let's go back to our task grid. Did I cover everything? I think I did. These are the basics. Let's go back home. Anything interesting here before we end this session? There's a graph you can see here. There's dual axis graph which tells me PSPE website, OEIS is top in the list here. So this is dual axis. So it compares my task, the task that I have, against everybody's task here. So you can see it here. And you can look at it in a line chart as well. back to a line column chart. So there's stuff like that. You have graphs. There's a lot of features here, but so I went over the basic features, but it's been a lifesaver for me. Without this, I don't know how I would be able to manage my tasks and remember everything. So I hope this makes sense. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.